everybody. Welcome into Week 18. Week 18 of the Kickoff Classic, as we called it. This year's gone by fast. I can't wait to talk to the gentlemen tonight. We've got a great crew in-house for Week 17. It's going to be fun. Gene Fitzmagic is going to pop up a little bit tonight in here with us and talk to us about all things fun going on with him and his amazing Jets that he's got going. Sean Urban's going to join us for a little bit tonight. Talk a little bit about New England. Where's Belichick going? Who knows? I don't know. He don't know. We don't know. We all don't know. We're just trying to figure it all out. We'll figure that out a little bit with Sean. Brandy and Dave. Dave is back. I guarantee we'll talk about Pickett. We'll talk about small hands. We'll talk about everything's unique. And to contradict everything that Gene says, we brought Woody back in. Take Flight Talk. Somebody with the Jets that actually has some common sense. Thank God. So let's get into it. Let's have some fun. You know the team. You can find them on the front of my YouTube channel. Also, over on my website, PMcDavidShow.com, as we do it. Welcome in Shelby Johnessy, Fred O'Malley, Daniel Barry. Welcome in Jason Thibodeau, Mike Beachman, and the Goats. Good to see you all coming in. Gentlemen, welcome to the party that is Week 18. Hard to believe. Since we've been going through this whole entire year, it's been unique all the way through, and we will see what it's going to be. David, how are you, sir?
I am mad. Just in general, I haven't paid attention to the NFL in 10 weeks. I don't know. Frankly, it's the beginning of the year. This is what happens when Kenny Pickett is your quarterback. And then you decide to, I don't know, have a reasonable year and still are in it, potentially, to make it to the playoffs.
It's going to be an
Can we pull a New England and bag a year, please? Jeez. All right, I'm good.
Okay. Well, more of that to come. Welcome in, Patty Puddle. Speaking of New England, Sean, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I feel that I now have somebody that's just as upset about their team as I am about mine. But we're doing good. Happy New Year to everybody. Hopefully your holidays were pretty good and everybody's on the straight and narrow. But we're busy. We're busy like always, enjoying the football season. Looking forward to the playoffs so I can finally watch some good football that's not the New England Patriots.
There you go. Welcome into Jennifer Caruso and Paul Engel. Well, two people that are more irritated than you two would be our Jets fans. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, man.
I don't even know. I can't even imagine being as upset about continued success. I can't. I literally cannot imagine, because all I know is the bottom of the bottom. The worst of the worst, just down in the dumps.
Yeah.
Woody, could you imagine a down year being 9-8? A down year for them is 9-8. Can you imagine that would be a down year for us?
9-8. I'm getting a new tattoo. Like I don't understand the devastation by our comrades to the left right here. It's crazy.
Well, I can go over it, and it's all Kenny Pickett's fault.
Well, welcome in, Pinky. What I will say is, starting out this show, one of the things that's on my mind is, Dave went through a lot this year, as everybody knows, with his surgery and everything. And Gene's in the process of moving, Sean, and James got a new baby and everything. Just, asking for prayers for a good 2024. Because I've seen a lot. 3 days, I've seen a lot of garbage. And I got a lot of friends that are going through a lot, and it's on my mind heavy as I sit here tonight. So if you're out there tonight, think of your friends, think of your family. Let's have a good 2024 and try to make it happen together. So sitting here looking at this, I guess we should talk about those that are still alive. Believe it or not, Tampa Bay, the Colts, the Jaguars, Houston, Seattle, Buffalo, Green Bay, Atlanta, the Steelers, Minnesota, and the Saints are all still alive going into Week 18. So as you're making your picks tonight, you can keep that in mind. I've already heard that Movie Maniac, welcome in. I've already heard that Cleveland is sitting all their starters, that the Ravens are sitting all their starters. I'm sure there's more. I already heard McCaffrey's sitting for San Francisco, their starters sitting in San Francisco as well. And also, I wanted to talk about this real quick before we jumped onto the picks. And I apologize, it's covering guys up a little bit, but it was the best spot that I guess. I could have put it over here. I'll move it over here so it doesn't cover up you guys. Here's the thing. This is amazing to me. This is as of Week 18, and I don't think there's too much of it changing too much. Maybe a little fluctuation, but I think your top 10 is going to be where it's at. You got Chicago with 2 picks there. You got, of course, Washington, New England, Arizona, who's been mid-range, the Giants, who have been horrible, Chargers horrible, Tennessee horrible. The Jets horrible by accident, honestly. With injuries. Let's be honest. Atlanta, I don't know what the heck's going on. Chicago, I think, and I'd like to get just your opinions real quick on this draft. If this were how it lays out for your top 10, to me, the two biggest things that jump out, we were talking about a little bit before the show. Chicago could really bolster their team by utilizing that number 1 pick and drafting down and getting the farm for it, because everybody wants this kid, Caleb, in their lineup. And then the second thing being is that the Jets, my God, what are they going to go and get? They still got a starting quarterback for the next couple of years, unless they go quarterback at that point and look for a successor for Rodgers to work under him, which could be a thing. But they got a running back. They got wideouts. Their defense is sick. Where were they going to go? Maybe Gene said something about line, but go around real quick. Gene, what are you thinking when you look at the draft thing right there?
Yeah, with the Jets, I would love to see them get Joe Alt. I don't know if he's going to last till 8, but I would love to see him. That's where him to end up. There's at one point this year where I was like, let's just get a quarterback. This is when I thought we'd be drafting a little higher. I said, let's get our quarterback. And you know what? If Rodgers doesn't like it, that's too bad. We need to have someone that's going to be here for the future after he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, if I'm Chicago, I don't trade Fields. I keep Fields. I build around him. If I trade down, I'd like to stay within the top 3. But I'll tell you what, Atlanta, if they're not going to, I figure Atlanta's got to want to be one of those teams that want to go after Fields. But if they don't go after Fields, they got to be one of those teams that want to trade to 1 at least and bring Caleb to Atlanta. That would be a spot where I could see Atlanta trying to trade up the board.
Interesting. James, what's your thoughts?
With Chicago, it's tough, because Fields has shown something. You really haven't shown him too much in terms of weapons and personnel around him. DJ Moore had a pretty decent season, but do you want to reset the clock? I mean, that's one thing. In terms of having the QB on the rookie deal, we've seen quite a few teams win or at least get to the Super Bowl, but even win a Super Bowl with that rookie contract. So maybe, this gives them a chance. I mean, they have another top 10 pick. That's, the crazy thing about the scenario that they're in is that their flexibility is crazy right now. Let's say, the Giants really wanted to get someone, and they're probably in position to get one of those top guys. But if they wanted to leapfrog New England and, try to get Drake May, something like that, then, having the 5th and 10th pick, and you can trade away or something like that. So I feel like there's so much flexibility. They clearly will determine how this draft goes for everybody else.
That's a good point. Sean? We can't hear you, bud. You're muted. Can't hear you.
Oh.
Dave, go ahead while Sean's trying to find it.
So it's interesting. We were kind of talking about this, right? Like, are you back, Sean?
Am I back? Go ahead.
Yeah,
keep going.
No,
going.
You're good. I don't even know the thought yet. Go for it.
Oh,
I want to hear yours because I'm
right.
piggybacking off your New England thoughts. So continue.
All right. So the last couple of weeks, I mean, I've called it. I think early. Let's go back to some of the earlier streams when I was here early in the season, and I called that. Mac Jones was terrible. I think they should have went in a different direction immediately this year. They didn't. And Zappy wasn't the answer either. And we've seen that in the last couple of weeks. Is he an upgrade from Jones? Probably not. So, and now they go out and they win a couple of games, to really, instead of put them and solidify and lock them in as a top, 2 or 3 pick, we've been sitting here in New England going like, man, what are y'all doing? Not that you want to tank, but really you want to tank. You don't want to win any more games. And I thought a really interesting scenario would be is if the Chicago Bears would do some sort of like 3-way deal with the Patriots where they kind of, like y'all are saying, right? Like they trade away and they trade down because they seem pretty locked in on Fields, right? So they really need like Harrison. They need to get Harrison. You don't want to waste the number 1 on Harrison when you can trade down and probably get him at 3, 4, or 5, right? So trade that pick away. Patriots need a quarterback, though. They would probably take, maybe like Williams or, Drake or somebody like that. So that to me would make sense. I would love to see that. and then now the Bears still get a pick later, and then even with the number 3, you know what? They pick up Harrison. Maybe they package something up and they ship people out. Maybe they can snag somebody like a Devontae Adams, who doesn't seem to be exactly happy where he is, and he's looking to get out. So the Bears have a lot of flexibility. To me, trading down and swapping picks with the Patriots, you're looking at some cash. Maybe you snag a couple of players that you've seen from the Patriots squad. You need a tier 2, a solid number 2 receiver. Look at like a Devontae Parker or Douglas, who seems to come a long way. That's what I would like to see, I think, happen when it comes to this draft and we start looking at the number 1 pick.
Okay. Dave?
So the New England quandary is whether or not Belichick's going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if Belichick is there, is he really going to? Historically, they haven't gone after talent. They've gone after talent. They haven't gone after high picks, right? So they haven't. I don't think they've drafted in the top 10 in the last 20 years. Like it has to be that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now they're sitting here, right? Like you find Brady on the bargain, the bargain aisle that's just sitting there in round 7, with a lot of the qualifiers. Do they trade up for Caleb? And I don't know. I don't know if Williams translates. Wins the Heisman. What's he been doing?
Not much.
I know that's I know that's a pretty loaded statement, but it's interesting to me. Like, yeah, it makes sense for the Bears to trade down. I don't think Harrison's a top 5 guy. I know everyone's going to chastise me for that. I honestly don't know if Williams pans out in the NFL. I think he would have. I think his draft stock is being buoyed up by a Heisman from a year ago where he wasn't even in the conversation.
Right.
This year. And so what is that? Is that Jordan Addison's better? Right? So I don't know. So it would be crazy for the Bears to sit there at 1 and grab someone. So they're going to trade down. Do they stay in the top 3? I don't know. They need a lot more than 2 guys. So do you package the 1 and the 10, drop down, and get a boatload of 3 to 5, 3rd to 5th round picks this year if someone's set up that way? If not, over the next couple years. I mean, you're still a rebuilding franchise. You're not one person away.
It's a lot to think about. All good points by all you guys. It's a lot to think about. Welcome into Gloria. Welcome into Brandon. All right, let's get into the picks this week. Pittsburgh Steelers coming into Baltimore. 3.5 of the Ravens favored. The Ravens are sitting everybody. Pittsburgh still needs to win. They're still playing to get in. Woody, start us up.
I mean, these divisional matchups are something. We're talking about 2 of the absolute best coaches in the NFL. One is playing for something, one is not. Let's choose the one that's playing for something. That's how I'm gonna roll with it. We're gonna go with the Steelers. Mike Tomlin doing what he needs to do. Congratulations to him to keeping that that non-losing streak alive.
Good deal, Gene.
Yeah, I got to agree. Listen, if this was a game where the Ravens needed, I'd say the Ravens all day. But the fact that Pittsburgh needs it, those players love to play for that coach. They got his back. I'm going to take the Steelers.
Dave, you on your boys?
So 37 of the last 42 games between Baltimore and the Steelers were decided by 3 or less points. I don't know if that's an actual stat, but it's probably pretty darn close. I honestly think I take Baltimore in this. I think that the Steelers win by a field goal. I know they're sitting everyone. I get it. I know that Mason Rudolph is the second coming in Pittsburgh of Joe Montana or Terry Bradshaw or whatever his name is. I hate the fact that the Steelers are again in a position where they might somehow if everything works out, that they make the playoffs. And everyone's so happy that Mike Tomlin will continue with his mediocrity of just having winning seasons when we haven't seen a playoff victory since, I don't know, I lived in a different state. That's not true. But they haven't seen one in a long time. So it's frustrating to me. I'd rather be in a position where you Jets fans are, where we might actually be able to grab those 1, 2, or 3 pieces early in the draft. I think they're set up. I again think Kenny Pickett is not the answer for this team at all. I think Mason Rudolph has made it. And honestly, this is what I want to happen. Even though I say the complete opposite 90 seconds ago, I want Mason Rudolph to walk into Baltimore and throw 4 touchdowns to Pickens. 100%. Just let the kid light it up in year 2 in his last game. And then go to Miami. And because Tua Tagliavoa can't throw the ball more than 28 yards down the field, they walk into Miami and light them up, win by 3. And then somehow make it to the AFC Championship game against Baltimore. No, they wouldn't. They'd have to play Baltimore in the second round. So anywho, long story short, I want there to be a Mason Rudolph, Kenny stupid small hands Pickett quarterback controversy in Pittsburgh next year.
You said a lot, but you still tell me who you're picking.
Yeah, I did. I said I'm taking Baltimore.
You said you think. I didn't get a
I'm taking Baltimore. I'm taking Baltimore with the points.
Okay, making sure. You started going everywhere. I wasn't sure where we were.
I know.
That car was Sean?
We're going to go Baltimore on this. Obviously the Steelers have a, they have a lot to play for. They have a lot of motivation, whereas, the Ravens are just kind of on cruise control. Obviously, they're going to sit a bunch of starters. I think it might actually be a low-scoring game because the Steelers' defense ain't the trashiest of the trash defenses in the NFL. They just week in, week out, they've had a solid defense all year. The problem is offense, right? Kenny Small Hands Pickett. That's what we're talking about here. And I'm not sure if he can overcome the Ravens defense. And really the reality is defensively, even most teams that are in a position that are locked in, like the Ravens, all these teams that are locked in for the playoffs, they're probably going to play most of their starting defense. It's the offense where you're going to see a lot of the guys take the rest. And I don't know if the Steelers offense can overcome that. So give me the Ravens.
Well, I know for a fact we're sitting a ton of people. Michael Johnson, welcome in. SG, Jeffrey, Jamestown. I know for a fact that Kyle Hamilton will not be playing. He was hurt last week. They're going to sit him and give him this week plus the bye week to get his high ankle sprain better. Without him in the lineup, without several of the key players in that secondary, I look for the Steelers to win. I think Dave's right. It's in a 3 to 5 point game somewhere in there. It always is. I think
it might not be 32 of the last whatever, but I mean it's legit. If you look at the last 15 years, I guarantee that majority of them are 3 points or less. I'm
going Steelers because I think a lot of the public is going to see 3.5 for the Baltimore at home, a field goal and a kicker. I'll take that, and then Steelers win by 4. So I'm going to go that route. Houston's still playing for it. Indianapolis in a mix. 1.5 is the line here for the Colts. Total 47. Gene, start us off.
This is a good game, man. It's gonna be a good one, I think. But you know what? They got the kid back on the quarterback on the center. I'm gonna take Houston.
Gene's on Houston. Dave?
Houston all day.
Wow, everybody on Houston that quickly. All day. The quarterback is back down there, Gene? Is he healthy? He out of concussion protocol and all that?
You talking about CJ?
CJ?
Yeah, he's fine, right? As far as I know.
As far as I know, okay. Sean?
Yeah, I mean, Stroud's back in, and let's face it, both these teams have the potential to be the winner of the AFC South, depending upon really the Jacksonville game. But I think I'll go with the Texans here. I don't see them losing this.
Okay. James?
I mean, the disrespect for the Colts is crazy. I mean, they've been a pretty solid team this whole season. Gardner, Minshew Mania's running wild. I mean, that's a team that I don't think anybody had any faith in. Then Richardson goes down. I think the faith decreased. But Minshew has just risen up and given this team hope. So in this final game, they're jockeying for position. AFC South battle. I mean, the Texans are probably still going to win the game, though, so I understand. So I'm going to go with the Texans as well.
All that. Yeah, I think Houston's just a better team. They got the better quarterback right now. He's been hotter. It does hurt them. They lost their number one wide receiver. That was the one challenge there for Houston. I think this one comes down to a final second mix right there. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes through. So let me get that up there. Everybody on Houston on that one. Dave will start us up with this one. A battle of two teams that I have no idea what they're doing. Atlanta goes on the road to New Orleans. New Orleans at home. They're favored -3. Total 42.5. Dave.
You're really starting with me on this one?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Sweet. You said Atlanta has something to play for?
Yes.
So we're just gonna go with Atlanta on this. They got nothing else going on in Atlanta. Georgia's not in the national championship, so let's go for it.
Here for him, Sean.
This game's interesting again, right? You look at two teams who are relying on the Bucks to lose in order to win the South. The Saints, they played well in beating Tampa. The Falcons didn't look great. So, man, this is one game where, I've struggled because at 3 points is right on the money. You're talking that's a field goal. But given that, you have spectacular playmakers, in Hill and Kamara, I'll take the Saints here, looking for them to be explosive when it counts in the game.
Okay. Rudy?
Yeah, this is another. I feel like the recurring theme here, is the teams that know each other so well, fighting for something very important. They are both, like Sean said, hoping that Baker folds so that they can go through. The Saints are the better team, in my opinion. Roster wise, they are certainly the better team, but that's why we play the game, because it doesn't always end up that way with the better team winning. So I actually am gonna say the Falcons spoil it. They spoil it. The underdog come through and make a difference in the NFC South.
Interesting. Gene?
Yeah, I'm going to give a public service announcement. Don't bet the NFC South ever. It's a mess. It's the they should pack up and move the NFC South to the XFL. That's what they need to do. And maybe one of those teams might have a shot. I don't know what to expect from any of these teams. Woody will tell you, I was big on the Falcons earlier before the season started. I thought Ritter was going to come through and be a good quarterback, and I couldn't be more surprised that he wasn't. I really was looking forward to seeing the Falcons excel because they have everything. It turns out they have everything, all the pieces you need except a quarterback. They have a good line. They got good skill players. But with all that being said, Saints at home. Neither of these teams deserve to be in the playoffs. I'm hoping it's going to go to the Bucks. I think if anyone, they could do a little bit more damage in the playoffs, if anything. But I'm going to have to take the Saints on this one.
Taking the Saints. Gene taking the home team. I've gone back and forth on this one, and Atlanta has just screwed me over all year. Every time I've taken them, the times when I think they're supposed to play, they lay an egg, and the times where I think that they're going to get crushed, they've stepped up. This is one of those times where I think that they're supposed to play and they're going to do well. So I'm going to take the Saints and go the other way around. Take the home team there. Cleveland, Cincinnati. How about this? We're talking about the Brownies being in the playoffs along with Detroit for the first time in God knows how many years. 70-some, I think it was. So, Sean, start us up with this one.
So, I mean, the Browns are probably gonna rest some people, right? The Bengals are eliminated. I do think that the Bengals still have something to prove. And especially, when it comes to Browning, this may be his last hurrah. So I think he's going to be out to at least prove himself, to make a case for another team picking him up and giving him a contract. I'm going to take the Bengals here in a close one.
Well, okay. Sean's on the Bengals. Welcome into Tribe. Welcome into Darth. Bonner Molly. Hello. El Flacco is sitting. A lot of the Browns are sitting. Woody.
This spread is crazy, unbelievable. For a team that is eliminated versus a team that is sitting starters. But I mean, that really hasn't been a problem. I mean, the Browns are probably the best team in the entire NFL at overcoming the injuries that befell them. I mean, they were dropping like flies, and now here they are picking up old dudes off the couch and still heading to the playoffs due to the coaching on both sides of the ball. So I'm gonna say those third, fourth stringers that are now getting those major minutes, those major snap counts in the game, they can keep it within 7 points. I don't know if they'll win the game, but the spread is crazy. Give me those Cleveland Browns.
There you go.
Yeah, I agree with Woody on this a lot. One of the things that we learned about Cleveland this year is that they are an extremely deep team. They have a deep roster. They can bring the next man up, and it seems like it's worked out every time. So you know what? Where I agree, I don't know if they'll necessarily win, but I think they keep it closer than 7 points. I'm going to take the Browns.
Gotcha, Dave.
Yeah, I agree. The spread's absolutely egregious. Again, much like the Steelers-Baltimore rivalry, of the last 15 games between the Browns and the Bengals, it was also less than 3 points. I, again, don't know if that's true, but it's worth mentioning. Seven's too much. Absolutely. I'll take Browns. I'll take second-string Browns plus 7 over the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that too. The Cleveland's a very dangerous team right now. Very dangerous. I think if you're looking at these two teams coming into the playoffs that is really can be on fire, Cleveland and Buffalo. And I'll be the first to say, I'll say it right here now before we even get to the playoffs. The thought of Joe Flacco coming back to play against Baltimore, I don't like it. Okay? When you play against a quarterback that has incentive, he tried to come back to the Ravens. Ravens shunned him. That's why he ended up with the Jets when he did. Then he tried to come back to the Jets this year when I heard it was like minutes after they announced the injury at the football game for Rodgers. He was on phone with the Jets telling them, hey, I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to go. And they told him no. And what did he do to the Jets? He came back and beat the snot out of them. So you give Flacco time. Dave knows this from the time we've battled against each other. You give Flacco time on a play action, he can be dangerous. And right now, Cleveland, the line is giving him time. So it's kind of scary. So it's hard to say, though, because we're sitting a lot of players. I know they're sitting a lot. Same with the Ravens. But I still think that's where it's going to be. Jaguars and Texans. Woody, you'll start us up with this one. Jaguars playing for something. Texans, there's going to be a game. Jacksonville's minus 5.5 on the road, 39.5. What's your thoughts? Oh, you're muted. That's the way Dave sounds the best, but you don't have to do Dave.
Yeah.
It's fair.
The Jags, I mean, that was everybody's preseason pick to run away with the AFC South. I'm sure there are a whole bunch of people that are shocked that we are in this situation with the Colts and the Texans, Jags, everybody out here. But injuries have befallen this team. A lot of things haven't looked right. Whereas the Titans, who are now on to Will Levis, have actually looked really good at some points. Right, they shocked the world, shocked the Dolphins, and then have just gone back. I think this is another thing where coaching plays into it. I think Vrabel is a good coach with a horrendous roster. I think Peterson is a pretty good coach with a better roster. So I'm going to have to go with the Jags. Talked myself into it with that spiel. The Jags, I'll take the points. All good. Let's do it.
Jags, let's do it. Okay. Gene.
Yeah, you know what? Titans aren't really playing for anything. Jags are playing for something right now. I'm going to take the Jags on this one as well.
I think that might be a thing here. Let's go down to Dave.
So former Penn State quarterback Will Levis, if we all remember. Don't get me started. Anywho, I don't think this game goes over 35, and I think Tennessee giving 5.5 is too much. And just to point out, I was not one that said the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to run away from it. I still owe Carney money.
Yes.
I mean, a gift card.
A gift card.
Because I said they weren't going to win more than 3 games this year. So I'm wrong, and I'm probably going to be wrong about this one too. But I'll take Tennessee at home, last ditch, whatever, to salvage something. And I think 5.5 is too many.
Okay.
All these games, like Woody pointed out, all these games are teams that play each other all the time. All of them are. So the spread should not be more. Like the 7 in the in the Bengals game, 7, really? Yeah, no, it's. I don't think it's gonna be. I'll take 5.5.
Okay, Sean.
It's a field goal game.
I'm going to take Jaguars here. I think their defense is what actually is going to win this game for them. You know, you got Trevor Lawrence, who's got that AC joint sprain, but I guess he's been practicing this week, coming off of that. And Christian Kirk is now off the IR and expected to return. So, you know, even if Trevor Lawrence doesn't play, I do think the Jaguars defense should be more than enough to beat either Levi's or Ryan Tannehill, maybe, if they decide to put him in, give him another crack. So give me the Jags here.
Yeah, I'm just going to roll the dice, say the Jags are trying to stay in the division. I like Dave's thing. I think the points are right, but make me nervous on it. But I'm just hoping that they pull out enough to get a touchdown ahead and hold on there to do it. Gene will start this one up. Why not? Tampa Bay -4.5 on the road against the lowly Panthers that are just horrible. Can they cover it out, finish the year strong? We'll see. They're still playing for something. What do you got, Gene?
Yeah, you know, the Bucks are playing for something. Carolina is a waste. They're already like slotted at the number 1 pick, which they don't even get. I think that team, it doesn't care right now about anything. Their owner is a joke for what he did earlier this week. And you know what? The Bucks have everything going in their favor right now. I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Okay. Dave?
I mean, don't we all love Baker Mayfield?
Oh, Jesus.
Like, isn't he the best quarterback that ever played the game?
He may not be playing. Got his rib bruised.
Yeah, I know. But come on, man. No, you gotta go Bucks. Carolina's just an absolute mess. Absolute mess.
Yeah.
I'll give 4.5 here. Frankly, as much as I just said it the other way, I'm surprised this is only 4.5.
Okay, Sean?
We're going to go with the Bucks here. I mean, they win. They got the division. Even though they looked atrocious last week against the Saints, but the Panthers didn't put any points up on the board, right? So give me the Bucks here. I think they just roll right over them.
Okay, Bucks there. Baker Mayfield's so dangerous. She's laughing at that. Udi?
I'm gonna have to. You know, I was right that one time where I was like, oh, you know, I don't think the Panthers are gonna just win one game. I think this was a game, and they beat the Falcons that week. Do I think they get another win this season? Probably not. Probably not. So we'll keep it like that. The Bucks, they get this win, and we'll see what they can do in the playoffs. You know, it's a pretty decent roster. I just didn't think that Baker would be able to elevate it. But you know, they're out here executing. Kudos to them.
I'm gonna take Tampa Bay based on the fact that I hope Baker's not playing. That's why I'm betting to Tampa Bay on that one. I'm hoping he sits out hurt. Dave, you can start this one up. It's a game of the month. It's a Jets at the Patriots here. Patriots -1.5 at home. Do you dare take the Patriots to cover?
If you would have told me that I ever would look at a professional football game with an over-under of 30.5.
Wow.
That wasn't being played in a blizzard, -15 degrees in Chicago. Jets win this game. I think New England's just gonna. I mean, it behooves them to fold, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It does. It does. Welcome in, Sebastian the Crab. Sean?
So what I want and what's actually going to happen are probably two different things. What I want is the Patriots to lose because at this point, winning them games, right, does them no good at all. You need to lose this game. I honestly believe that they may actually win. They may actually win. And for nothing more than I think the Patriots defense is just better than the Jets offense at this point. And I think Zappy is just a hair. And when I say hair, I mean we're talking like a cheek hair better than Mac. And that is really the difference in how the Patriots have been putting points on the board. So give me the Patriots here. And God bless anybody that can stomach watching this whole game.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, Woody.
Honestly, the best introduction I've ever had for any show was the introduction you gave me today, Pete, calling me the anti-gene. I usually have to bring some realism, some negativity, if you will, to his endless positivity about this horrendous team, the New York Jets. Let me also completely share Sean's sentiment that a team that needs to lose, right, will just somehow find a way to win because they just want to hurt me, and that's exactly how I felt when this team lost to the Commanders. Won. They lost me, sorry, but they beat the Commanders on a game-winning 54-yard field goal, and to see how much they celebrated, how happy it made them to just hurt me, hurt their draft stock, and hurt all of the New Yorkers in the tri-state area, to see how happy they were. I know for a fact that they are doing everything in their power to end this losing streak. They have not beaten this team in over 8 years, and it hurts them. It hurts them. This current regime, every player, every coach, it's now 3 years for them, and they're like, oh, we need to beat this team. They actually care about this. I don't think the Patriots care about this game the way that the Jets care about it. This is their Super Bowl. This is it. This is it. So I think they're going to win, and I think they might fall out of the top 10 of the draft position. And just continue to hurt me, New York Jets. I'll take them.
Sean, while I'm talking to Gene, can you get Woody an antacid, please? Gene, what do you got up there?
I have 3 words, and 3 words only. Jets by 20.
Oh, and here I thought it was going to be Sean is correct.
No, I don't think Jets by 20. I'm just trying to be the anti-Woody. But I do agree.
Just so you know, it's going to be Jets by 20, and it's still going to be under.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
That's the sad thing. I think the Jets, I think Woody's 100% right. I think that Bill Belichick cares about the streak. I also don't know if Bill Belichick in his own mind doesn't even know if he's going to be there next year. I also know Bill Belichick would probably, like he did last draft, wants to spite the Jets and doesn't really care if it hurts him, just if he could hurt the Jets by when he made that trade last year with the Steelers. So I think he's going to look at it like, I'd rather keep my draft status where it needs to be. Hopefully the Jets move back a couple of spots and it hurts the Jets. So therefore I take the Jets.
I'm just going to take the Patriots just out of spite and welcome in Lila Rose and Joey D.
Joey D.
Just because Woody said so many crazy things. That's why I'm just going to do that. I think it's Dave's. We'll go with Dave's turn to start here. Minnesota and Detroit, a game that really doesn't have a lot to play for. Detroit's -3. I think they're sitting a bunch of people as well. Dave, start it up. Who you got in Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit's sitting the world, right?
Pretty much.
I mean, they haven't seen a playoff game since, I don't know, 1894?
Been a long time.
Potentially? I don't know.
70 years.
It's been a hot minute. Everyone in Detroit is super happy, super excited, especially now that Michigan is also in the national championship, which that was an absolute atrocious call by Nick Saban. We'll talk about that later. Vikings have had flashes of brilliancy, right?
Yeah.
Randomly on their 19th quarterback of the year figures out that you throw the ball to Addison and you can score points. Like, it just happens, right? So I think Minnesota walks in giving them 3 points in the dome. Minnesota. Detroit doesn't care about this game. No one in Detroit cares about this game. No one. They want next week. It's all they want. So I take the Vikings on the road +3.
Okay. Sean.
You know what? The Vikings are, like he just said, a hot mess at quarterback. And I think after the way the Lions lost last week in what really should have been, in my opinion, their game, they should have won that. And the NFL refs once again screwed something up. I know we're all shocked. Everybody fall off your seat. I think they come out with a vengeance this week with something to prove, being angry after last week. So give me the Lions here.
On the Lions. Woody?
I really do not mean to be an echo, but Sean said exactly how I feel about this game. I probably would have taken the Vikings, but the Lions, I mean, after what happened, the outrage, the absurdity, how dare they steal this win from that team? Dan Campbell, he is ready to bite kneecaps, and it's so unfortunate for the Vikings that they are the ones on the other side of the field that are about to get their kneecaps bitten. Dan Campbell and them boys, I don't care who's sitting, they're about to win this game. Detroit Lions.
Everyone's going to be out buying their liquor for the game on Monday. Like, what's going? No one in Detroit is going to be around. No one cares about this game at all.
They're going to have a parade like it's a Super Bowl just for making the playoffs. That's what they're getting ready for.
Gene?
Yeah, if everything was equal, then I would obviously say the Lions. I know, and with the fact of they're just a better team, but also because of what happened last week. But I also think they have bigger fish to fry. I think Dan Campbell's smarter than that. I don't think Dan Campbell's going to try to push any limits this week. And if the Vikings win, it doesn't really matter to them. So I'm going to take the Vikings.
I'm going to go back to, anybody remember when we were younger, a show called What's Happening with Roger, Rerun, and Dwayne.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going back to Dwayne's way of picking the football games. I'm going to pick the team with the better helmet. I'm going to go with the Vikings.
That's fair. I should have said that too, because Brandy likes the Vikings.
Well, there you
helmet.
go.
It's purple.
Sean, started up. Bears trying to, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Trying to play them way out of 2 top 10 picks. And the Bears are on the road. Green Bay is still playing for something. I'm not sure what. They're not in love with love, or maybe yet they are. I don't know. -3, total 44.5. Sean, what do you got?
It's pretty straightforward, right? The Packers need to win this to get into the playoffs. So they are going to be hungry. They're going to be motivated. I think, Jordan Love will outplay Justin Fields here. So give me the Packers.
Okay. Packers there for Sean. James.
I think both teams have got something to play for. I think, especially from the Bears, we're talking about flexibility. They can go this way, they can go that way, can go, all these different ways. I mean, Justin Fields, if I'm Justin Fields, I don't sleep at night thinking I 100% will be the quarterback of Chicago this next season. Eberflus, literally the entire front office, everybody on that team should not feel safe. DJ Moore, probably, maybe, I don't even know. Probably not. Nobody should feel safe. So this should really be just one last tryout, one last exhibition to show somebody, anybody, that you belong to stay while all the picks and trades and moves and free agency, while all of that happens as this team continues to rebuild. Can you prove that you're a founding piece and not just a cog in the machine? That's pretty important. Give me the Bears in this game.
Wow, +3.
Gene.
One of the oldest sports rivalries in sports of all time is this game right here. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I get what Sean was saying, how Green Bay has a lot to play for. They're playing for the playoffs. But I get what Woody's saying, how Chicago, everyone's on a tryout. They have a lot to play for. But I also think there's a portion of that, besides that, would love to knock out the Green Bay Packers. They would love, as much as Green Bay would want to make the playoffs, I think the Bears want to knock them out just as much. And so I'm going to take the Bears.
Gee, interesting. Dave?
The Bears.
Sean Clifford, 4 touchdowns, Packers win.
Wow.
I don't know. He called Will Levis. Channeling him from earlier this season. I don't know.
All right.
I'm going to go with, I'll go with Clifford the Big Red Dog, and I'll say Packers win. I'll go with that, Clifford. So, I think it's just at home. I think the Bears are gonna. I don't know that when they're supposed to show up, they don't this year. It's gonna be one of those where you would think it would be just like James said, and they come out and Fields has a average game and they don't do it. We'll see. In a game of two teams that really are going exact opposites, the only challenge here is the Cowboys can't do a damn thing on the road. They are a horrible road team. Should the Commanders even be in this game? No, which is why I think it'll be a 3-point game because it always between these two. James, start us up 13.5. Do the Cowboys cover?
This is definitely, I mean, we're talking about spreads, right? This is a large one. It's definitely a large one. Pete, you just said the Cowboys are a different team on the road. Another thing that we've seen with the Cowboys is, winning teams versus poor teams, what they do to that different discrepancy. They're coming off, right? They were the beneficiaries of that controversial call in that Lions game. I think they are looking for momentum. They are the most clowned franchise. Oh, this is them year. This is our year. Them boys. Great in the regular season, always losing the playoffs. I think they are really big on trying to create some momentum for themselves. They're trying to convince themselves that this year will be different, even though it probably won't. They're still going to get eliminated in the playoffs. They're not making it to the Super Bowl. But they want to convince themselves that this is their year, that they're them boys. And the Commanders, let me tell you, as somebody who just recently watched them play, they do not have what it takes to do anything. If the Cowboys start hitting them with that 1-2, give me the Cowboys with all those points. They still gonna cover the spread. I promise you that.
Gene?
Where I think the Cowboys will win this game. I just, listen, division rivals, last game of the year where, maybe the Cowboys don't have much to play for, but the Washington Commanders really don't have anything to play for either. I feel like they're already setting up their, getting their stuff out of town, cleaning out their lockers. I'll take, but at the same time, Cowboys don't have much to play for. I think it's such a huge spread. It's one of those games you probably want to stay away from last week of the year, right? I'm going to take the Commanders on this one. I'll take Washington. I'm sorry, I saw Monorail Molly post it. Washington, but Dallas probably wins.
Dave, help me out here.
Dallas wins the game. They don't win by 13.5. I get the whole want to build momentum, want to win the game, want to do whatever to pretend that they might actually win a playoff game. Who knows? They're Dallas. But I will channel Gene, who just channeled Monorail Molly, and say Washington will win the game. And just so you know, Pete, I'm with you because my father says Warsh and Washington all the time.
Thank God. That's okay. I mumble a lot too. Go ahead, Sean.
I'm going to take Washington here for, the couple of reasons already stated. The biggest one is the spread I think is just too big. Dallas is going to win the game, but they're not going to. 13.5, I think, is too much. There's been only 6 times out of the last 16 games where these two teams have played where they've actually covered the spread, win or loss. I think 13's too much. Give me the Commanders.
I can't blame Siri anymore. I think it's my mumbling. So, boy, this is 13.
It's that spread, man. I'm telling you, it's that spread that makes you hesitate.
Kicking me in the groin right here. Just because I love to see the Cowboys fans go crazy, I'm going to go with the Commanders. And I'm going to go Commando on the game. Commando it is. I think we're at Gene. Why not? Let's go with Gene. Seattle and Arizona. Seattle minus 2.5, 47.5. Seattle on the road. At home, they haven't been all that, but hey, let's see what they can do here. Gene, start us up.
Yeah, Arizona, they've won a few games or come close to winning some games that you might not have thought they'd win or come close to. They got their quarterback back. Seattle though, Seattle's strong. 2.5 on the road though. This is a tough one because you don't know what you get with Arizona. I feel like every week they're Jekyll and Hyde. I'm gonna go with Seattle.
Gonna take Seattle. Welcome into TBE Trucking, and Peanut has come in and dropped the love fest. He's back to normal. Peanut, Dave, what do you got?
Seattle just came off of the embarrassing loss to Mason Rudolph, the best quarterback that has ever played in a Steelers uniform. Seattle giving 2.5 basically means that it's a tie for Vegas. So I think Seattle wins by 3 on the road in Arizona.
Okay. Welcome into Chris, Curtis family. Welcome in. What do you got over there, Sean?
Well, the Cardinals beat the Eagles, right? Seattle, though, still has something to play for because they're looking for playoff hopes in this game. And let's face it, Seattle's been hit or miss, especially the last, 6, 7, 8 weeks, right? You don't know what team's going to show up. I do think, however, at 2.5 points, it's close enough where we could see Seattle win by a field goal, maybe even 2. So give me Seattle here.
Okay. Interesting. Woody?
Seattle definitely has been, they might be the least consistent team over that last 7 or 8 weeks, like Sean was saying. I mean, they literally, I don't know what to expect. Whereas, the Cardinals, yeah, they're definitely not good. But Kyler, he's back. I think he's proved that they are not someone who's going to be. Everyone was saying tank for Caleb. The first 14 weeks of the season. I don't think that's. I think they're probably the favorites for Marvin Harrison Jr. They beat the Eagles, like Sean said. So put some respect. Put some respect on the home team. All right. I don't care if I have to lone wolf it again. Because I'll lone wolf it with the Cowboys. If that's how it is, we'll see what Pete says. The Cardinals, I think they're about to take this one.
Well, I got news for you.
That's great.
You're not lone wolfing it because I think the Cardinals win this one at home. Honestly, I think Seattle's. I think Pete Carroll's time may be done there. I think Seattle's just been a mess this year, and I think Arizona just finds a way to mess things up. So, and Peanut's calling people beautiful in the chat, so that's interesting. All the more reason that things are going upside down. I'll go that way on that one. Let's see. Dave, start this one up, I guess. Rams and the 49ers. 49ers playing nobody. The Rams still playing for something. 49ers yet still favored by 3.5, 41.5.
I don't know. I'm not betting this game ever.
Okay.
This time of year, like for real. San Francisco's sitting everyone, so obviously who should win? Los Angeles? I don't know. Maybe. Are they really playing for something?
Trying to get in the playoffs still.
I mean, maybe. Do they have a shot?
They've been one of the hotter teams in the NFC the second half. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, why not? They're getting 3.5 on the road.
Take the Rams. Welcome into Rob. Welcome into Disney Jr. Let's go, Sean.
Well, the Rams are sitting, I think, right now in the 6th spot, if I'm not mistaken, for the playoffs, right? So, I mean, they're playing a little for something. Don't be shocked if you see them rest some players. Obviously, San Fran's going to start, to sit a bunch of guys as they get ready because they're all locked in and ready to go. I think even with resting players, though, give me San Francisco to win by like 6 here.
Okay. Woody?
It's not too far. I mean, it's not too long since the Rams were considered to have a super team. They still got a lot of players that they had. I know they lost some, but they still got a lot. Puka Nacua is about to break the rookie receiving record. I feel like people need to put some respect on the Rams name, and they've got a long way toward doing that. Right now, they are able to win, and I think they're in. They might still need some other pieces to fall type situation, right? So it seems like the stars have aligned for the Rams to win, but as we were talking about before with tryouts and people who have things to prove, I am so honored to be able to go before Gene so that I can bring up a man who might have something to prove while people are counting them out. They sitting people in San Fran. They sitting people. Well, guess what, buddy? Sam Darnold is here to play, and he is here to prove to the world that he is not trash. Okay, give me Sam Fred, give me Sam Darnold, baby.
Gene, follow that up.
Yeah, I think the Rams are locked in at the 6th spot. I thought they were. I could be wrong, but I know they're clinched, and I think they're locked in at the 6th. But so they don't really have much to really play for. They don't really need to maneuver. Obviously, the 49ers don't need to maneuver. So it kind of brings things to kind of being a little bit equal. And 49ers, I think, where it won't be one of those, molly whoppings that they put on teams seems like every week. It'll be one of those, maybe by a touchdown or two, but I'm going to take San Francisco.
Okay. A 49er, if he had a pickaxe and he hit a ram in the head, he would knock him out. So I'm going to take the 49ers. That's the way I'm going to bet this week. A little bit crazy. Sean, start this one up. The Eagles going to the Giants. This would have been a good game 12 years ago, but I'm not sure about this year. Eagles are -5.5 on the road, 41.5. They're in the playoffs. Giants are in contention for a top 10 pick. What do you got?
So I think, the Eagles, they have a little bit to play for here, even though they're locked in terms of the seeding. They want to play for a higher seed. I think if the Cowboys win, if I'm not mistaken, I think they get locked into the 5th seed. And let's face it, the Eagles, though, haven't played well really down the stretch here in the back half of the season. They've been kind of hit or miss. Like games you would have thought that they would have just dominated and crushed. They've barely either won or they've lost, a game here or there that you thought they were going to win handedly. The Giants, however, did lose to the Eagles a couple weeks ago. It was a close game. I think this one stays close. But I do think ultimately in the end, the Eagles win. And I think it's really like a 6 or 7 point game. So give me the Eagles.
Let's take the Eagles. Okay. James?
Wow. I'm so sorry to keep being an echo, but if Sean stops speaking facts, then I guess I won't have to be an echo. The man knows what he's talking about. Give me the Eagles. It's been a tough road for them. Like recently, they've been, bouncing up and down. But I think this is a big get right game, right? Get right before the playoffs type opportunity for the team, and I think they will. Okay. So give me those Eagles.
Good, Gene. Welcome in, Rawson Town.
Yeah, I think this is a game the Eagles need to win and win playing well because they have been a little bit of a mess. They started out 10-1, and since then have been a little bit of a mess. Losing to the Cardinals last week. You're starting to hear some people saying Sirianni might have have some job security issues, which I think is ridiculous. But Philly is a tough town, and I would love nothing more. Where I've had such a rough season as a Jet fan, I would love nothing more than the Giants to have one more final humiliation to the hands of the Philadelphia Eagles. I hate the Giants. I hate the Giants. I hate the Giants.
Okay, Dave.
So this is the first part of the Taylor Swift update. So basically, ever since Taylor Swift got snubbed because she was not asked to do the Super Bowl, she has used whatever powers she has over the NFL that obviously she has enough to do so to ruin one half of the Kelsey's second half of the season, just to show the NFL that she does have this overarching power. Now, to get everything back to normal, since probably 8 weeks ago we were all sitting here saying that it was going to be a Super Bowl repeat, and if you are a conspiracy theorist at all, the reason is because there is someone named Swift on the Eagles. There's also a Kelsey brother. There's the other Kelsey brother who is dating Taylor Swift. So with all the hubbub and everything around that, obviously you were going to see the Eagles playing Kansas City again in the Super Bowl as a repeat of last year. Now, for that to continue to happen, the Eagles need to get off the schneid, as they say, and get back to winning football. And this is where it will begin, where they will win by 2 touchdowns, as much as I hate it, because, I hate all things Philadelphia sports. But this is obviously the first of the Taylor Swift reports. So here we are. I think that she's written 3/4 of this next album based on just this NFL season. So I take the Eagles, give them 6.
Okay.
Give him 5.
I will take the Eagles also just because the over-under on Dave saying Taylor Swift was 5 and he went over. So I will go over. Woody, start this one up for us. Denver's going out there. It's a mess out there. Vegas, they're playing for their coach. Really a game. It just is a game to play and get in the Vegas books. 2.5 is your number. Raiders favorite at home. Who you got?
I will save my little soliloquy on the trials and tribulations of Russell Wilson, because that would probably run us the rest of the show. So instead, I'll look at this game. The Raiders, Antonio Pierce, you got those boys playing hard. It's just that those boys aren't very good at football. The Broncos, they're a pretty good team. Peyton's we don't know what type of coach. We thought we knew, but he's running amok. But I will say, he made this decision. He must have seen enough where he feels confident moving forward. And that defense, whew, they have been playing hard. And I don't like anything I've seen from the Raiders offense to combat that. So actually, give me the Broncos. I do not agree with Vegas. Give me the Broncos.
Okay. Gene, are you on the ponies?
I think the Raiders want to have one more chance to prove that AP should be their coach next year. So I think they're going to come out pretty tough this week. I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Okay. Dave?
I am going to take Mike Mara's recommendation and say that this is going to end in a tie, which means that Vegas will win since they're getting 2.5 points.
Okay. Vegas will win since they're getting 2.5 points, so that puts on Denver. Sean?
I think I'm going to take the Raiders here. I think, like Gene said, they're playing for their coach. They seem to like Pierce down there as a coach. I think you're going to see Devontae Adams, as much as the rumor mill says he wants to get out, probably play hard. That way a decent team will look at him into trade. And on the Denver side, I mean, they benched Russell Wilson, right? Because it's this whole contract dispute now. I think you see Jared Stidham, by the sounds of it, starting again this week. So, and at 2.5 points, I think the Raiders can win by a field goal, maybe even 2.
Okay. Thank you to Monorail Molly for dropping the links multiple times throughout the stream. I appreciate that. I'm going to say the ghost of Al Davis flies in to block a field goal, and he still misses it. And Denver wins this game because of their defense. I think that's what ends up being the difference in the game. I'll take Denver's defense over Raiders' offense.
Seeing ghosts.
Gene will start this one up. Kansas City is going into Los Angeles. Los Angeles is horrible. But Kansas City is sitting everybody in their mother, so the Chargers are now favored by 3.5 in a game that will probably put more gray hair on Kelly's head than he'd want to admit. Gene, start us up.
Yeah, you know what? The Chargers have been bad. Easton Stick might be the worst backup. Out of the year of the backup, I think Easton Stick might be the worst one. Even with the Chiefs not starting guys, I still think, you know what, maybe they'll find some guys that can actually hold on to the ball and catch the ball and their third and fourth stringers. So I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Okay, take the Chiefs. I will say that every time I said, have you seen Easton Stick, Joey started giggling. So I don't know. I'm just saying. Dave?
So this is the second half of the Taylor Swift update.
Oh, God.
We think that the Taylor Swift luck has run out in Kansas
Preston,
City.
I need a beer.
But much to the chagrin of those in Los Angeles, it ends again today. Because if there is going to be the rematch, Kansas City needs to get back right again and win this game. So getting 3.5 as a Kansas, I don't know if Kansas City's gotten 3.5 points.
I'm counting on as I'm counting on as part of the opening that I hear the words out of your mouth. Tonight I push Pete to drink. Go ahead, Sean.
I did. I'm excited.
I'm counting on it.
Taylor Swift, man. Now you said beer though. Is it not Terramana Tequila? The tequila of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the one and only unofficially official sponsor of Isn't That?
Hold on. Okay, yeah, but time out. Now I got to say this. Did you see him come back the other night and the place lose their mind?
No.
Mm.
He came back the other night and the whole
Sure did.
building lost their mind.
That's awesome.
And,
Yep.
yeah, I think they're setting up for him and Roman Reigns at either WrestleMania
Yeah.
or SummerSlam, depending on how they lay it out. But you
That's
know,
crazy.
if he comes back and does that, the ratings for that could be through the roof. So,
Oh, it's crazy.
and it's plenty of stuff to show Steve, which is even better.
I'm so excited now. I didn't know that was going to happen in 2024. I might have to actually get back in to
Wait a
wrestling.
minute, hold on. I know we're a little late here, but I got to ask you this: Have you seen Steve sing on my channel?
No, I haven't, and we should.
Gentlemen, I have to ask your indulgence for 1 minute.
We must
So where's it at? Hold on.
hit the button.
I will.
This is going to be great.
I got to make
Internet gold. Hit the record button, people. Internet gold.
Let's see. Where is it? Here we go, Dave.
I'm so excited.
I deserve a call out tonight on D&D for this. Here we go.
So excited.
Listen.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So, okay.
Oh,
Boy, you look like you work out. Just saying.
oh. That's awesome.
Yeah. There you
All
go.
right.
All right, Sean.
So this will be the quarterback battle of the year you've been dying for. Blaine Gabbert versus Easton Stick. I mean, come on. Why would you not want to watch this game, right? I don't know. This game really means absolutely nothing to either team because one is just going home to hit the beach and the other one's getting ready for the playoffs. So a -3.5 for the Chargers. Reed's already said they're going to rotate guys in and out, you know, so they're going to give all these bench guys playing time. I'm going to take the Chargers here. So give me the Chargers.
Okay.
We're going to go out on a limb. It's
like
the
Molly.
NFL 2023.
2023.
Right.
I like Molly's comment. I go on too many dates, never said by Steve ever.
Yeah, 100%.
Rudy?
Well, we might have to drug test Gene because he said Easton Stick is the worst of the backups, even though he watched Tim Boyle play in multiple games this season.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know. I don't. But with this, right? You know, these two franchises. You know, Sean put it beautifully again. But I would say that the difference made is in the coaching, right? You know, Andy Reid's system. You got a whole bunch of guys that just plug and play. You know, first string to second string to third string. Okay. I mean, their first string receivers are pretty much practice squad guys. So I think the coaching will prevail, and the Chiefs, the backup Chiefs, will still beat the Chargers.
I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say that everybody and their mother will run out at Vegas and Atlantic City and everywhere else and see Kansas City +3.5, which means if you tease it, you're getting 9.5. I'm going to say that the Chargers pull up the most ridiculous upset ever and win this game by 10 to screw everybody on their teases, their straights, their parlays, and Vegas has a home run game here because it just looks too simple. It's too simple to me. I don't know. I've seen it through the years. What
Pete, you put a bunch in the wrong spot.
Oh, did I? My fault. Thank you. Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers.
Me too. Down the bottom.
But I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm up top.
Yeah, I did it all the way. So let me fix it.
He had that beer. That's it. He's done for the night, kids.
You're probably right. You're probably right. That's all it takes. Doesn't take much with me. All right, here you go. Last game of the night. I'm going to let Dave start this one for us. This is actually the game of the weekend. This is the game of the weekend. Out of all the games that are matched, both teams are going to come. They both need to win to get in, basically. It's like the NFL has got to be dancing a jig in one thing. They finally have a last game of the year, the final game of the season that actually does matter, that people will actually tune in to watch. And the ratings on this will be pretty good. Buffalo goes into Miami -3. Dave, what do you think?
Buffalo's got the hot hand. I think Buffalo goes to Miami and prevails, even giving 3
Nice.
by a touchdown.
Nice.
Maybe.
Sean?
I don't know. That Chris Pratt at quarterback is my new favorite quarterback.
There you go.
Listen, this one is winner take all in the East, right? And Allen and those Bills have dominated Miami. Miami's defense right now is banged up, and Josh Allen has like 86% of like the touchdowns for Buffalo this year. Some stupid statistic I heard the other day on one of these talk shows. So I'm going to take the Bills here. I think Miami puts up a good fight, but give me the Bills. I think they win by a touchdown.
Okay, James.
Pete, that was a tremendous intro on this game. This is definitely a huge game. You got 3 AFC East panelists over here to talk about it. They got Hard Knocks, right? Hard Knocks, like leading right up into this game. I think both teams are good teams. The Dolphins just lost Bradley Chubb, kind of controversial to have him in down a million. It's so crazy that with all the injuries that we've seen at the quarterback position this year, so many backups right here, the backups, as Gene said, that Josh Allen, arguably the most physical of the quarterbacks in the league, 86% of the Bills touchdowns, he is still walking tall. That man, I don't know if there is a player in football that just wants to win more than him. He cannot do it in overtime. So please end it in regulation if you're a Bills fan. I will go with the Buffalo Bills shocking the world and securing their ticket to the NFL playoffs.
Gene, final pick for the dais for the regular season this year?
Yeah, you know what? You couldn't ask for a better game, like you said. This is the game. I hope we get a game of the year, man. I really hope we get one of those games where, like, we talk about this one for years, with not only just a good game, but the magnitude of what comes out of this game. Bills, like Dave said, Bills have the hot hand right now. Dolphins are licking their wounds a little bit. Losing Chubb like that really stinks. I think the Bills go on the road and take it to Miami. I'm gonna take the Bills.
Gene's on the Bills. I'm gonna call this one. Have you seen the what is it? The Pepsi commercial where Emmitt Smith and Randy Moss and Montana and Marino, I think it is, all want to come back, and it's a Diet Pepsi, I think, commercial. They're talking about come back, and Moss gets a ball thrown at him. He catches it. He's like, I still got it. Then he needs a walker or something. I think here's what my prediction. Tua gets hurt in the third quarter. They bring in Marino. He throws an interception. Bills win the game on the road on Marino. He still can't get a Super Bowl ring. So I'm gonna. Bills are just a hot hand right now. How could And the loss of Chubb and Bills' hot hand, I'll stick with that. I think Chubb is a major factor in their defense, and it helps them out there. I know, Dave, you'll be going live here in about an hour and 45 minutes over on the Dis and that channel. If somebody could drop that. What are you guys doing tonight?
We're talking 2024 fitness challenge, getting back on it for 2024. So do that every year. Come join. It's a good time. Kind of keep each other motivated, moving in the right direction. Obviously, there will be shenanigans. We will make fun of Steve and probably reference The Rock 8.5 times as the over/under tonight.
I'll take the over.
I would too. I would always take the over.
Check out This and That tonight, guys. If you go over there, you won't be disappointed. A lot of fun. Sean, what do you got?
We are getting ready, kind of springboarding off of what Dave just said, to do a fitness challenge. It's a 7-week fitness challenge. We're going to start rolling on that on January 13th. So we're going to live stream and we're going to do some vlogging about it. So that's what we're getting ready for after a very hectic and messed up December. We're looking to right the ship. So starting January 13th, that's what we're going to be up to.
Righting the ship sounds good. Good luck with that. Check out Sean Urban, everybody. Also a supporter of the show. And I thank you for that and your support. Rudy, what do you got going over there on Take Flight Talk, besides not letting Gene on the show?
Hey, yeah, I haven't been on that show yet.
Hey, anytime you want to come down and sprinkle your positivity, Gene, you already know there's darkness. There's darkness on the channel. So we could always use your ray of light. The season's ending. And of course, if you're a Jets fan, you know that begins the real season, the off season, where we just talk about mock drafts all day and continue to win the offseason and make all these Madden moves in our heads, in our hearts, and talk about them on Take Flight Talk. We should be doing something soon with the reporter from Heavy.com, Boy Green, they call him, Paul
Yeah.
Esden Jr. He's a great guy, big heart, more positivity, just like Gene. Just loves his team, and we should be doing something exciting with him.
I think you should be doing some Take Flight episodes over these next couple of weeks, like the Browns edition, the Ravens edition, the AFC divisions. Throw it out there. Do a little Take Flight. You guys do a great job over there with Take Flight Talk. Check it out, everybody. If you like the Jets, but if you like football, check it out itself. And Gene, you'll be starting back up next week in your thing. You got a couple of things going on.
Yeah, I got so I'll be back with the DVC crew on Monday at 9 p.m. and that's me, Joey D, Tina, and Greg. And then on Tuesday at 8 p.m. I'll be back on Big Fat Panda channel for the Disney Underground with me, Panda, Corinne, and Sammy D.
And Panda will be a guest on this channel on Sunday night with the ladies.
Yes, he will.
Which will be fantastic. I know they're really excited about that. I'm going to do a bunch of games this weekend. There's nothing on Thursday, everybody, but there is 2 on Saturday that we're going to be doing. We'll be doing one on Sunday afternoon. I don't know what that game is yet because I don't know if I'm getting the Jaguars game or if I'm getting the Browns game. So whichever one I get is on my TV is what the one I'm going to do. And then we'll be doing the Sunday night game as well. So more football to come this week. And, of course, the national championship, which I can't even broadcast because YouTube still lets people do it illegally. Thank you, YouTube, for bending us over a barrel. Appreciate all the guys for coming in tonight and hanging out with us. Go see Dave tonight over on This and That. Links in the chat. Thank you to Monorail Molly for dropping all the links. Thank you to Paul for dropping all the numbers down. Thank you for Peanut for being in here part of it. And SoCal Haunts and Parks hitting us up with $1.99. Now I can put my in my Vegas bets. Good luck to you. Come back on Tuesday night when we do the recap and tell us how you did. Thank you, SoCal. We appreciate you. Gentlemen, thank you for a great week. Probably one of the better shows we've had. Appreciate you all. See you real soon. Have a good night, everybody.